This show is brought to you by HostBaby.com, web hosting for musicians.
Here on episode 49 of Music Marketing Monday, we bring you the Do Nothing Guide to Music Success. Yeps, you heard that right. That wasn't a verbal slip-up. It's the Do Nothing Guide. What, have they lost their minds? Well, probably, yes, but there's more to it than that. Stay tuned. Here we go.
Information, inspiration, motivation for the modern musicpreneur.
Time to start your week right.
Here it comes, Music Marketing Monday, with your host, Bob Baker,
Mr. Buzz Factor,
and Billy Gryzak.
the music marketing mind.
Ready? Are you sure?
Set.
Here it comes. Swing, baby.
There's so much to do. There's so much to. I have to book gigs. I got to do the promo. I've got to rehearse. I've got to get my band gear together. I got to program my MIDI files and my sequences. What do I do next? I know. I'll do absolutely nothing. That's right. Hey, welcome back to the show that apparently never ends. It's Music Marketing Monday with me, the Music Marketing Mind, Billy Gryzak, and the guy that truly was doing nothing for quite a while.
I'm sorry. Were you talking to me? I was too busy looking at my to-do list. I apologize. Hi, it's Bob Baker here, Mr. Buzz Factor, author of the Guerrilla Music Marketing Handbook, blah, blah, blah. And you're right. Since we last recorded our last episode, I've been on a little vacation, which was a long time coming. You've been on the road yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been so far away from the business of music because I've been busy making music for the last several weeks. I've been on tour. I've been, when most people go to places like Florida, Jamaica in the winter, I go to like North Dakota, Wyoming. I'm really looking forward to this week. I'm going all the way up to the border of Minnesota and Canada, right there by International Falls. I mean, it's like going to the North Pole, because that's what I do.
You need a better travel agent or something. I don't know.
That's right, man. You got a tan, and I turned blue.
In fact, I did go to Florida. I had a couple of friends that offered my girlfriend Pookie and I to stay with them in southern Florida. We spent about a week or so in Naples, another week or so in Fort Myers. We took a drive. It was a road trip, so we drove to Florida. Took a trip for a couple days over to the Atlantic side and hung out like in the Fort Lauderdale area. And so, yes, it was quite nice. And it was weird. It was unseasonably cool for them. They were complaining about the chilly temperatures, but compared to St. Louis, it was in the 70s or something,
I played a gig in Hettinger, North Dakota, a week or two ago, and it was like, 12 below, and there was like 30-mile-an-hour winds on top of it. So I have no idea what the wind chill was. All I know is, I think my drummer, his like finger snapped off at some point trying to carry the drums out, so it was not pretty, so I hate you a lot, Bob.
No exploding drummers.
So what's this do nothing guide? I mean, what are we saying? What are we talking about here? I mean, what is the big picture, Bob?
The big picture is, I think it's because that we were both away from home, and I in particular was so I went down there with the intention of it being, a vacation of sorts. I mean, I checked in social media a little bit, but the only work that I did, I'm actually working on a new book that I'm really excited about, actually, called The Empowered Artist. It was a fan funding campaign I did last year, and I'm headlong in the process of writing it, and that was the only work that I did. Maybe on average 2 hours, anywhere from 1 to 3 hours a day I would spend writing that, and usually in some gorgeous surrounding tropical trees or whatever around.
Did I mention that part? Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not really trying to build up animosity. And so it was really wonderful. The rest of the time I just, we relaxed. We took walks. We met up with people. It was very casual. And yes, man, I'm feeling refreshed after those 3 weeks away. That's probably the longest vacation I've ever had, or longest time away from home in recent memory. And so there's something to be said for giving yourself breaks from your normal active routine. And so I think we're going to slice and dice this a couple of different ways. because you don't have to leave town. You don't have to go to Florida for 3 weeks to get the same benefit. But even you, like when you go on the road, is it all work, or is it a little refreshing to get out of your normal home environment? Let me ask you that.
That's a really great question. When I'm home, I can always work. I could. I spend, I don't know, 6 to however many hours a day, 8 hours sometimes, sitting at a desk at a computer, either doing music marketing stuff or working on recording or music production or whatever, So, and then of course I have my equipment here. I mean, I'm really always focused on business. And then after like 8 hours of doing all this business stuff, then a lot of times I have to pack up my guitar, go to the van, drive an hour, and do a local gig. You know what I mean? So there really is, like, at home, I'm always focused on the business, play, business. Now, when I go on the road, which is interesting, it's not easy to work on the road. It's like you get there. If you're lucky, you have a multiple day show, which we had a few of those. So you set up once. And then you play for, your 3-4 hours at night, whatever, the 2 hours, whatever it is. And then the rest of the day, you what do you do? You know what I mean? You could bring your laptop or your iPad, but that's not your home studio. And the places I go, half the time, getting internet was like, a treat if we could get internet at all,
Well, so you're forced to actually like sit and maybe interact with other humans.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, for me, it's really funny. It's really funny. For me, going on tour I always called those paid vacations, because in a 24-hour period of time, 4 to 6 hours is the amount of time that you're actually doing your work. So, you still got, 18, 20 hours of a day left over, where you can do things that are like introspective, retrospective, sleeping. There's something. I actually got some sleep, like for the first time in months. I actually slept in every day, you know what I mean, which was really nice. And then we took some board games, and my son's in the band, my wife's in the band, and we did some family things too, which was really nice, because we never do that either.
I was going to say, you probably do that more when you're on the road than when you're actually at home, where it seems like it would be more convenient, right?
Absolutely, so
that's cool.
Yeah, so for me, going on the road, I've always looked at being on the road as a paid vacation. I know there's a lot of bands out there. Maybe they're doing it for different reasons, and they're maybe not making as much money. I don't know. Maybe it's stressful, but for me, I always seem to be more zen-like and recharge my batteries by going out on a tour or two. It's really funny.
Yeah. So we can look at this. What I'd like to do is could look at this at the macro level and the micro level. There's some really nice little geeky words for you. So the macro level, which is like the big picture, the big version of it or whatever, is like what I did. Yeah, you can go away for 3 weeks and not do nearly as much work as you usually do, and totally refresh and relax and get away. So, but that's not necessarily available to everyone, although I think there are also always low cost and no cost ways to get to to have getaways. But then you can go all the way down to the micro level, and I don't know how many episodes back, but I think we talked briefly one episode about this thing called the Pomodoro method or the Pomodoro technique, where you this is how you work throughout your day, and in a given hour you might work for 45 minutes or 50 minutes really intensely, and then some people even set like timers. They have Pomodoro timers and websites and all this stuff. The alarm goes off, and then okay, I've been at this for 50 minutes. Now I'm going to take the next 10 minutes to get away from it, get up, walk around, walk outside, do something else that's not work related, just to clear your mind, and then you go back to work. Some people do it actually in 25 minutes with a 5-minute break. You can do it in whatever works for you. But even throughout your day, you should. And it actually makes you more effective to get away from the work. It's not just all slam, 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 and your brain works better when it can relax and get away from it. And then you come back and pour yourself into it, but I think this is a really helpful thing for anyone pursuing a creative career.
I agree. And the thing for me, I think what's great is, for me, is it's like the forest for the trees thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm so busy in the forest, you know, that I don't actually see the trees sometimes, if that makes sense to you.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
You're so close to it, and you're just always going.
Yeah, and I'm really thinking that you need to take a little bit of time. First of all, here's the thing. Check this out. It all goes back. Everything that I do in the world always revolves around this one word, and the word is why. You know, and the thing is, why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Like, why do I want to play music? Why do I want to, record songs? Why do I want to go on tour? You know, why do I want to make money? And for me, you know, one thing that I want to do at this point in my life is I want to spend more time with my family. Now, lucky for me, one way I can spend more time with my family is book a tour because my family's in the band. That works really good for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, that might not work out for other people, but there are options. But I think you need to decide why you're doing what you're doing instead of just doing it with blinders on. You know what I'm saying? There you go. This should be the episode where we try to get everybody to take their blinders off. What do you think about that?
I like that. And I'm glad you said that, because I was just actually, my next comment was going to be along those very lines, where I was going to say most people sort of sleepwalk through their lives. And you might listen to the advice that we're giving here and go, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. But then in the pattern, in the routine of your normal day, it slips your mind, so you forget to take those breaks. You don't really do it. You go, so you can't just like think about this stuff. You almost have to, at first, you have to consciously make it happen by setting a timer, by putting a sign in front on your computer. Did you take a break yet? You know, and so any new habit, you have to sort of interrupt your normal flow to develop it and make it a part of your routine. But it's kind of like what you're talking about too. Yeah, just kind of sleepwalking through your life and being unconscious.
Yeah, and then sometimes you forget why you're doing it. It's like that old REM song, not REM, REO song, you know, I can't fight this feeling. You know, I've forgotten what it is I was fighting for, you know, is the line. And that's the truth. You get so caught up in the day to day that sometimes you forget why you're doing this in the first place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think what we're talking about here is, it's good to have goals. It's good to have a career. It's good to be focused, but you gotta stop and, like I said earlier, smell the coffee beans. I said that off the air. We don't have roses in Wisconsin right now. It's like 12 below outside. The roses are dead, but we have coffee. Okay, so it's every once in a while you need to stop and smell the coffee beans. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
People, stop what you're doing. In fact, right now, here's what you do. You're listening to this podcast, and I know you're probably multitasking, and that's great, super. But sometime today, just stop what you're doing for like 5 minutes even, and just do something. Breathe.
Breathe is good. Yes. And there's a thing called mindfulness that, we're getting really into this kind of the Zen and, the yoga side of things or whatever.
Where's Brian Thompson?
I know he's totally into that stuff now, which is very cool. But like, for instance, when you drink a cup of coffee, or usually when people are busy and they're eating a meal, they're scarfing it down while they're doing something else or they're thinking about something. But just try this sometime when you're the next time you take a bite of a meal or whatever, and just be totally present and focus on the sensations on your taste buds, or this, the smells, the aromas. And to me, I've actually made the comparison to, do you remember those Magic Eye books?
I love those.
Those things where you have to look at them and they look like they're weird and it's all like this big distorted, fuzzy image. And then you like relax your eyes and there's a certain point where it all like snaps into focus,
Yeah, you see the dinosaurs and stuff and all that.
Yeah, but it's just like pops, like that comes to life because you got your eyes gotten the right. So to me, that's what like being totally present to things is suddenly like, wow, I didn't know all this was going on because I never paid attention to it,
And another thing you could do too, this is something that I actually had an opportunity to do on tour, which I thought was really cool. Sometimes in order to know where you're going, you need to know where you've been. And sometimes if you're in a band or you're a solo artist or whatever, you might take a little time now and then to go back and maybe listen to some of your old material or watch some videos of the band a year ago, and see how far you've come and see where you want to go from there based on where you've been. Because a lot of people are so busy making forward motion that you don't even know where you're going anymore. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you, Bob?
It does, yeah. And you're so focused on all the things that you haven't accomplished, other things. It's great to be ambitious, and when you're all these you have things you're moving toward, as you said. But a lot of people focus so much on